What's up, hikers? I'm here at Kampala. We just finished Virunga challenge, and I am joined here with James Muhia, one of Kenya's top mountaineers. These are the people that, when us hikers, we did Virungas in 3 days, they're doing it in 1 day. So, thank you for doing this. And before we get to Virunga, give me like a brief background about yourself.
Basically, I'm a trail runner. I'm a hiker, a mountaineer, and an outdoor enthusiast. I just love the outdoors. So I don't know whether I can define myself as one item, but I love doing anything and everything outdoor. Yeah.
What was your inspiration to start climbing mountains or these outdoor activities?
I was invited for a hike, and the moment I eventually hiked, I loved the experience. And then there were issues I was dealing with at that point, personal issues, and basically hiking helped me, go through that phase. And then I'm a bit competitive, and I like setting, pushing myself to see how far I can go with something. So basically now, after that phase, it just became sort of something that I really want to continue doing. Set targets, try to see if I can achieve them, and here we are. Yeah.
Now I want to talk about something about because these are things that I think it's important for mountaineers to know, and also the kind of risks that happens in mountain climbing, like your Ama Dablam experience,
Yeah.
and that you got an injury, frostbite. So how was that like for you, and how would you still continue?
The injury, or rather the frostbite on Ama Dablam, was not really a surprise, because it's after what I experienced, for me to be able to come safely down, it was more or less a conscious decision to ditch the heavy gloves and use lighter gloves to come down. But it was a risk that was always at the back of my mind. The only difference is that it came a bit earlier than I expected. I was thinking probably I'll get frostbite while climbing a higher mountain than Ama Dablam. But the technicalities of Ama Dablam also, the technicalities of Ama Dablam made it and the challenges of what I experienced on that mountain made it more. I mean, I experienced what I not expecting,
What you feared?
but yeah, what I feared a bit earlier. You read about such things, but when it actually happens to you, then you realize these things are not just stories. It's something that actually happens to people. Yeah.
Then when it happened to you, did you maybe think you're done with mountaineering, or
Actually, for a brief second, because I didn't know how the outcome will be. But one thing I knew that I'm not going to stop. It was, the question was to what extent I'm going to push it further. Because I remember when I was taken to hospital in Nepal, I actually signed up for like a trail run in South Africa, and I signed up for that trail run basically to give me something to look forward to. And then after surgeries and all, and after seeing the outcome of it, that I thought I don't want to simply stop now because of there are people who've been climbing these mountains with amputated legs, with amputated arms. So I just lost some length of my fingers, so it shouldn't be a reason to stop.
Mm.
It may be a reason to be more careful on the next one, but not to stop.
How would you be more careful?
I think there are few lessons I took from Ama Dablam, especially when it comes to how cold such mountains can be. There are some lessons about the timing of the climb, or rather, like when the summit push. Probably I would have made a difference if I started like 2 or 3 hours earlier than I did. And also learning to be a bit patient, because I pushed for the summit a day after I arrived at the base camp. But it was simply because the weather window was closing. But I would have had another weather window after 7 days. So that probably brought a lot of impatience. So it's a learning process. Like I may have been a bit if I was a bit patient for 7 days, it would have been a bit easier or a better climb.
So, like,
Yeah.
does that experience now, knowing what you've gone through, does that change, you say, like your future plans, how you'll climb mountains?
It changes how I approach them, not whether I climb or not. It just changes how I approach them, and to be more alive to the risks that you normally probably just read about. But now to know that they are within, you can experience the same risks and actually the same harm that other people you read about experience. Yeah.
So you're here in Uganda doing the Virunga challenge. Now you had your own like unique challenge. How was it for you doing 3 mountains in one day?
It was
idea.
crazy. The challenge for the Virungas is the sheer elevation gain in a very short period. You climb 6 kilometers, but within that period, you are almost gaining 2,000 meters of vertical or height. So it becomes the challenge becomes different. The challenge becomes, proper endurance over a short distance. And it's I'm happy that we got invited by these guys to try a route for them, because it also brings another perspective. We've been used to running Mount Kenya and Kilimanjaro, but this one brings a different kind of a challenge.
Who exactly invited you?
The Twitter School of Running in Uganda, and basically the Mountaineers in Uganda. Yeah.
And it's for mapping
they are mapping a crazy route. They are mapping a route, a full marathon route, through the Virungas. So we were basically the guinea pigs to see whether that is possible, and it's actually possible. It's just that it will be a nice challenge for anyone who really loves the tough challenges. This one will be it.
And the challenge is to do all 3 mountains in what time limit?
We are still consulting with them to give them the best opinion on the time limit, but I think it's good to challenge yourself to do the 3 mountains in a span of 12 hours. That will be a good challenge. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And your future goals, I know you have an 8,000-meter mountain in sight.
Yeah.
So what mountain is that?
In September, there is a plan to climb Manaslu in Nepal. It's 8,163 meters. And luckily we'll be with another Kenyan. So that will be good company. And the goal is to do it without using supplemental oxygen or shaper support. So that is something that we want to. It's a space that we want to claim for Africans, because it hasn't been done before by an African, and and the goal is to experience the mountain in its raw form and to encourage other African mountaineers that these things are possible and within reach even for us. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
And afterwards, when you are successful,
Yeah.
you're going to do like the 14 peaks or something.
My philosophy in climbing this mountain is one summit at a time. One summit at a time. So after, of course, I have plans, but I would want to first do with Manaslu. There is Everest in the horizon somewhere, and there is K2 in the horizon somewhere. But one summit at a time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Parting shot.
Let's get out there. Let's explore these mountains. They are ours. Let's enjoy them. Yeah.
Awesome.
And let's go out there and try new other things. You know, we just we can go out there and climb these mountains. They are also, we also belong to that space.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
All the best in your adventures. We'll be rooting for you.
Thank you.
And that's James Muhia. See you next.